Welcome to this introduction to probability. Have you ever wondered how likely it is to flip a coin and get heads? Or what your chances are of rolling a 6 on a die? Or even why weather forecasts say there's a 70% chance of rain tomorrow? These are all examples of probability in action, and today, we're going to explore how probability helps us predict outcomes in uncertain situations. Let's start with the basics. Probability always falls between 0 and 1, or 0% and 100%. If something has a probability of 0, it's impossible, it will never happen. Like rolling a 7 on a 6-sided die. On the flip side, if something has a probability of 1, it's certain, it will definitely happen, like the sun rising tomorrow. In probability, we often talk about the sample space, which is the set of all possible outcomes. When rolling a die, the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Each roll is called an outcome. And a simple event is when one specific outcome happens, like rolling a 5. An important rule is that the probabilities of all possible outcomes must add up to 1. So, if you add up the probabilities of rolling a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they should always equal 1. Now, let's talk about the three types of probability, starting with classical or theoretical probability. This type assumes that all outcomes are equally likely. Outcomes are equally likely when each possible result has the same chance of happening. It means that no result is more likely than another. Think of it like everyone in a race starting at the same point. Nobody has a head start, so everyone has the same chance to win. For example, when you flip a fair coin, there are only two things that can happen: it can land on heads, or it can land on tails. Because the coin is fair, both sides have the same chance of landing face up. This means the probability of getting heads is 1 out of 2, or 50%, because there are two equally likely outcomes. So, heads and tails both have a 50% chance of happening. Next, we have empirical or experimental probability. This type is based on data from experiments. Let's say you flip a coin 100 times. You might get 58 heads and 42 tails, meaning the probability of getting heads in this experiment is 58 out of 100, or 58%. But here's where the law of large numbers comes in. The law of large numbers tells us that the more trials you perform, the closer your experimental probability gets to the true theoretical probability. So if you flipped that coin 10,000 times, you'd get a result much closer to 50% for both heads and tails. The third type of probability is subjective or personal probability. This is based on personal beliefs or opinions rather than calculations. For example, you might say your favorite team has a 70% chance of winning a game, but that's just based on your opinion, it's not calculated using actual data. Subjective probability is based on personal beliefs or opinions rather than calculations. It may vary from person to person. So whether you're predicting the weather, flipping a coin, or guessing the outcome of a game, probability helps us make better predictions and decisions. Thanks for joining me in this introduction to probability. And if you're interested in learning more or need extra help with probability or any other subject, check out our online tutoring service at Mitra Institute of Education. We've got top-notch tutors ready to help you succeed no matter where you are. Don't forget to like this video, follow us, and share it with your friends. See you next time.